And I'm a little bit late. I apologize. I wanted to get here an hour ago, and I'm trying to do that, but I was trying to eliminate any kind of disturbances and everything, so everybody can do their thing before I get going. But today we're having a conversation about Black America and guns. Black America and guns. And my true question is why are Black Americans so afraid of gun ownership? And it's very interesting because it wouldn't seem that way based on what the news and the media, even the Republican voices, but essentially we are. We we're afraid of gun ownership. Um, for some reason, again, when I talked about this from yesterday, from last night, if you want to go back and take a look at that video from yesterday, please do that live from yesterday. We're talking about the Black Americans of the diaspora of African people have PTSD, and it's a conclusive yes. And so some of the after effects of being stigmatized, marginalized, victimized, told to stay in your place, told to be docile, told to don't make sudden movements, don't act up so white folks don't dislike you, don't so white folks won't kill you, don't look people in the eye. All these things have manifested into a corporate mentality of African Americans being afraid of gun ownership. And um, so the question for us would be then, and should we support the NRA? Right? Start with that. If African Americans now realize that, um, is it the Second Amendment? I'm still getting up to speed. Um, Allows for the right to bear arms, then why would an organization like the NRA, an organization that has, I believe, 5 million members, an organization that's a strong lobby group in Washington, um, why wouldn't we support the NRA? And the short answer, the short complicated answer is the NRA doesn't support you. And although they have taken a posture of diversity, historically, the NRA only advocates for restrictive measures when it comes to gun ownership is when it refers to the Black community. That's the only time the NRA has ever taken a posture of gun control, is when it refers to you. I mean, the writings on the wall in respect to that scenario, considering that organization doesn't play when it comes to anything about gun control. They don't want to hear anything about it unless it's in the hands of African Americans. Um, and so, and whether this is a truth or whether it is a stigmatization that African Americans have against the NRA, because I do wish to be fair, um, that perception is still prevalent. It's a prevalent perception that is not the go-to association to belong to when it comes to gun ownership for the Black person in America. And again, it could be unfair. I have no idea, but it is perceived, and it is historical that their gun control measures, um, which are usually non-existent, the only feint or the only activism they have towards gun control is when it comes to the Black community historically. So then, when you write the NRA off the table, there's a vacuum. And so some individuals have filled that vacuum, and they have created an organization called the National African American Gun Association. And it's interestingly enough called NAGA. And so NAGA has been in place since 2015. Black owned family that has basically started this national organization to empower Black people to own guns legally. And it's interesting because when you when you look into what has happened since that has taken place, these individuals have come under great scrutiny. Death threats, swastikas painted on their buildings. And for those who have not taken a look at my community page in a while, take a look. I posted a very good video on that after this video. All right. And to holler at everybody else, all right, to all of my people out here, holler at everybody else. I hope the live chat is going to work for me today. If not, I'm going to have to permanently go back to StreamYard, but StreamYard doesn't exhibit the vivaciousness of color and the hue of my natural melanation. So I like using my phone, and then I can also do research while I'm talking to you. Judah's daughter, and of course Yvonne Gentles, my woman of warfare. Praise God for you, Judah's daughter. Wishing you well, Dale. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Now, the question that many of you have when it comes to our extreme spirituality in the Black community is why are we advocating for guns? Should not God protect us? And we've had a very difficult reconciliation with gun ownership and the Black church, or the Black spiritual experiences, extensions to the Hebrews. We know that the nation has never had a problem. The Nation of Islam never had a problem with that. But in respect to the Judeo-Christian perspective, from the Black viewpoint, worldview, we've had a problem with it. And so let me read to you what what NAGA has said on their website. It says the goal of the National African American Gun Association is to establish a Second Amendment organization that educates and trains our community on the rich legacy of gun ownership of African Americans, offering education, training, support, safety standards, and cultural inspiration. We are a pro-Second Amendment organization focused on the preservation of our community through armed protection and community building. We are a hub and network for all African American firearm owners, organizations, gun clubs, and outdoor enthusiasts. The long-term goal of the National African American Gun Association is to have every African American introduced to firearm use for home protection, competitive shooting, and outdoor recreational activities. We welcome people of all religious, political, social, and racial groups, and we especially welcome African American members of law enforcement and active retired military. Now that's a very clear and concise. And good morning to you, Carla Lockhart. It's good to see you too. You saw the commentary on reparations last night. Oh, praise God! So I appreciate you. So give me some feedback. For those again who wish to contact me personally, go on the beacons. Easiest way, most people have gone straight to my Instagram. And of course, you can go at delkbrereton@gmail.com. All right, delkbrereton@gmail.com, very easy. And you can talk to people. I get back to you. I get back in touch with you. You have any questions, or any commentary otherwise. This evening, I'm coming back with a study, getting back into that word, and we'll talk about what that is later on. So again, there has been a very hard conversation between the church, the spiritual minded, the religious minded, the moral conservative, and gun ownership. And no one here would say to me, there's a problem with the African Americans using guns in recreation activities. So if you're basically a gun enthusiast and you're looking to, go into a shooting contest of things that are not alive, competitive shooting, outdoor recreational activities, which is, things like throwing, skeet shooting. They're not even mentioning hunting here. These people are not even hunters like that. They are recreational shooters, competitive shooters, and they want to make sure that there's gun ownership for individuals who are trying to do home protection and for the protection of their community. They're not even hunters. So all you vegans and folks, don't worry. These black folks ain't going around hunting moose and deer, and they're not shooting beaver. They're not doing any of that, right? These folks are essentially want to prepare African Americans, according to their Second Amendment right, for the rich legacy of gun ownership of African Americans. And we have such a, I would say, an adverse reaction to this in our community, and it puzzles me. It puzzles me as to why. It really does. It puzzles me. Like, why are we so adverse to this? Why are we so adverse to having a relationship with guns? Let's boil it down what a gun is too. On the table by itself, without anyone touching it, it's a tool. It's a tool. It's like a hammer. It's like a wrench. It's like a saw. It's like an axe. It's a tool. It's a high propulsion projectile and tool, and it can be used as a weapon as well. You can use a chair as a weapon. You can use a spoon as a weapon, right? And so utilizing it as a weapon is based on the motivation of the user. Now, this is another thing that has come up from last night and from other conversations. What Black people need to do is they need to get over this mindset that if they say, I want to own a gun, I want to belong to a gun club, I want to start a militia, everything within the confines of the American Constitution, that automatically you become a target to white people, and you have to stop being afraid of being an American. Now, if I was in another countries talking about this could be, I could be maybe labeled as a terrorist, right? If I'm talking about why are you getting the private citizens mentality to gather guns? What are you up to? Absolutely. In America, this is not considered to be something that is strange or incendiary. This is not something that is rabble-rousing. This is a normal part of the way this country has been built. And it is something that should not alarm anyone. Now, what is alarming is, and if I can sound like Malcolm for a minute, it would always alarm a wolf if a rabbit wanted a gun. It would scare the hell out of a wolf if a group of rabbits got together and said, hey, baby, we need to own guns. But if you're not a wolf hunting rabbits, then you don't need to worry about guns. You know what? And if you're a wolf, you need to understand too that if you do consider us rabbits, which we are not, rabbits don't live where wolves live. Rabbits don't have the same agenda. They don't have the same interests. Rabbits might just want to not be hunted by wolves. That's it. That's a very easy thing. Wolves can eat other stuff. So my position is that you as people have to engage fully. And this is a stupid sentence I'm about to say. You have to engage fully in being American. This is why this sentence is so stupid. Do you know how many African American gun shops there are? 5. 5 in the entire nation. There's only 5 at the time of the article that I posted. There might be more now. There was only 5, which means that as a group, as a macro group of about 45 million African Americans, you have yet to take advantage of one of the greatest businesses for you in America. Let me tell you something. Gun running, drugs, booze running, gambling, Those were all of those crimes in the 30s and stuff that were completely taboo. Now you got places in America that the marijuana is legalized, alcohol is legalized, guns are legalized, gambling is legalized. So you're telling me that something that is legal in this country, that you know that most Americans have, and most white Americans, because clearly not black Americans, but it could be some black Americans in areas of crime, but there is a fetish towards gun ownership by the other groups in America. You're telling me that that's not a good business? You're telling me that there's only 5 gun shops in America? Oh, I just gave you $1 million business right there. Whoa, why don't we open up a gun shop? Yeah, why don't we? Shoot. Well, there's a lot of guns to go around. We know that, but all the mass shootings that are going on in Texas, there was a mass shooting the other day in Texas. And we have to have these conversations. And Roland Martin, a gentleman I highly respect, I don't agree with him on this issue. I don't agree with him at all on this issue. And his issue is that in Texas, the mass shootings are, in his opinion, the I would say the indirect responsibility of the Republican Party because they refuse to put gun control conditions on Texans, and therefore in Texas there's a mass shooting maybe every other day. it's pretty prevalent. Mass shootings go on in Texas a lot. So the question for me, in respect to Roland Martin's perspective, is does he have a point in saying that they need to change the gun laws in Texas, get rid of all of these individuals who own these high power rifles, just take that off the table, you know, just lock down gun ownership in the state of Texas. And Yvonne says we need to not let fear stop us from exercising our rights to bear arms, and I agree with you 100%. That's really what it is. You know, I remember, I want to remember my point, but yes, we let police officers bear arms. We let armed security, we let all these individuals bear arms, except us. But in respect to Texas, going back to that thought, Roland wants to control guns in such a way where it would really change the state of what the state of Texas, period, and the way life in Texas is dealt with. My opinion is that if you give Granny, good morning to you too, Amala Adula, I haven't seen in a while, long time for real. My opinion is if you give Granny a 45, you got to give the police officer something more powerful than you gave Granny, because Granny got a 45. My opinion is you got to make sure that you have a police presence, a military presence in your schools. That you got to make sure you have a military or strong police presence in your malls. You got to make sure you have an armed guard on your buses and your transit systems, right? Because you have said that we are going to allow the exercising of this right, and you are a country of law and order. There's some things you can have I will call it a whatchamacallit. What do they refer to it as? I have to say it. I want to say it properly. An honor system. Some things you can have an honor system on. You in certain cities around the world, you don't have to pay when you get on the bus right away. You have an honor system. They assume you've bought a ticket. You might have a digital thing that you tap, but the driver, he drives. He doesn't check to see that you have paid to be on the bus. What they have done is they've hired other officers to come around and to check and to see, hey, from time to time, they called it the conductor back in the day. And you can't have an honor system when you have an open gun policy, right? You can't have a scenario where you allow people to walk around with open guns and then your bus driver is sitting there unarmed. Your school teachers and your schools are sitting there with no police or armed security making sure that your kids are safe. You're sending kids on school trips and you're not sending them with an armed guard in the state of Texas, because the greatest country to learn this from is Israel. Israel doesn't send a child anywhere, doesn't do anything. There's no child sending on a school trip without a soldier, with a armed AK, whatever it is these days, on that bus. So if you are allowing a country to be built on the premise of the Second Amendment, you don't have to change the Second Amendment. You have to make sure that your law and order departments are present at your vulnerable areas. That's all you got to do. So a mass shooting could never happen. There's too much technology. A mass shooting could never happen. You have facial recognitions on every entrance. Up, boop. There's a man approaching. He's 100 meters off. He's got a gun. Code red. North doors. C tower. Yeah, we've got somebody coming in right now. Let's get emergency personnel there. You walk into a mall in Kenya, right? I don't know if you've ever been to Kenya. Going armed spiritually. Yeah. You walk into a mall in Kenya. Guess what you got to do, right? At least the malls I went to. You got to go through a metal detector, right? Because they've had mass shootings in their malls. And Kenya is a beautiful country. I felt extremely safe there. But you go to a hotel, you go to a mall in Kenya, you go through a metal detector. You have armed guards standing there, private security, with their machine, and you're going through a metal detector to get into that mall. And you know what? I'm okay with it. What if they just stopped people from going through security to get on an airplane? They just let everybody just get on an airplane. I'm not getting on that airplane. I'm not getting on that airplane. In Texas, you should not be able to go into a doggone community store without going through a metal detector. Security should be ramped up. You want to stop mass shootings, you lift up your presence. That's it. If you want to allow for a Second Amendment right to exist in a very liberal way in your state, you can't sit back and have an honor system and hope that the citizens don't begin shooting each other. You can't do it, right? You can't do it. Happens in China. Yeah, facial recognition can catch you a mile away. Listen, right now, if somebody wants to find out where you're broadcasting from, they can find you. They can find you. They got drones right now that are picking off people in the Middle East. Like, they got little guys playing video games with people's lives. With these U.S. soldier now is a drone video game operator on a joystick. Oh yeah, we see him. He's there with his children. Yep, we can blow up the whole building with one push of a button. Come on, man. This thing is different now. It's very different now. So, going back to the conversation. Why are Black Americans afraid of gun ownership? Why are Black Americans afraid of their Second Amendment rights? You have been conditioned to not defend yourself when you are being attacked. And people who've listened to me long enough have heard me talk so respectfully of Dr. King and also disagree with some of Dr. King's positions. I could never, ever endorse a movement of non-protection. Now, I never said non-retaliation, right? No, I didn't say retaliate. I said non-protection. I can never endorse a movement where you are telling people, civilians, children, mothers, grandmothers, let's march when they beat us, when they hit us, when they spit at us, when they shoot rubber bullets at us. We're just going to take it. We're just going to let them see us bleed. No, man. That can never be a path to empowerment. They're going to walk on your dead bodies. They're going to walk on your dead bodies. There's been no tyranny ever that has been defeated other than Jesus himself, who was still assassinated, right? He was still assassinated, but he rose from the dead. There's been no tyranny that has been defeated by laying down your life. There's been no tyranny like that. There's been no tyranny like that. America's not even built on that. America, and let's give America, let's allow America to be what it says it is, a Christian nation. A Christian nation that is armed to the teeth. Armed to the teeth. You ain't gonna walk up into the United States of America and say, North Korea ain't gonna threaten America. Putin's not gonna threaten America and not get flexed on. China's not gonna threaten America and not get flexed on. Listen, you can't even threaten Israel. You can't even threaten Israel and not get flexed on. And mark my words, Israel is as powerful a military power as America. Everything Israel has, America has. Everything America has is Israel has. They're not giving $4 billion to Israel, of which 85% is spent on military spending for nothing. Okay? Hey, listen, you can't flex on any nation, any world power, and not have them ramp up. Say, hey. China took notice when Taiwan said, hey, let's start our military maneuvers. North Korea took notice when South Korea said, let's start our military maneuvers. When North Korea started, South Korea said, oh, North Korea is testing these. Everybody's on notice. Come on. Why are you not on notice? Why have you so long have allowed yourself to be punched in the face? I said, oh, they'll learn, they'll realize we're human, and they'll realize that they're hurting us. Come on, man. The NAGA is a necessary contingency for the Black American. And if you just take away this underlying threat that sometime, somewhere in the future, that white folks will wake up and decide to just obliterate Black people all over the place. If you take that threat away, what about threats from foreign powers America has real enemies, right? Why do you think they told all of these new pioneers, everybody have a gun? Because the British can drop in on anyone. One of the things that we'll be talking about, and one of the reasons that we're putting this together, the Shiloh Institute, the ShilohInstitute.org website coming in change in a minute. But one of the reasons is there's a scripture in the Bible where the Israelites are marching, and the rival Canaanites who are seeing them coming, don't want them to come, who think they're an invading force. What they do is they ride in from the back and they start attacking them from the back, and taking out the children and the elderly and the women from the back. America, so smart, said, listen, this new confederacy that we're creating here, we cannot let Britain or anybody else come in here and catch us from the back. So we don't have the ability to say, you know what, let's put together an army and let's make sure that the army is fully armed. They said, no. Every man, woman, and child, you get a gun. You form militia groups. You defend the nation. You defend this union, no matter where you are. Give your 12-year-old son, your 12-year-old daughter, give your granddaddy, your grandmama a gun. Everybody got a gun. So when they land here, they'll realize we are armed to the teeth. From the front, from the back, from the middle, we are armed to the teeth. This was the principle of it. This was the reason they said, no, this amendment needs to go in here. The right to bear arms. We can't be like England. We've got to be different, because England's going to come in here and take advantage of the weakness that some people will have in areas where we don't have enough soldiers to get there on time. Let everybody be a soldier. That's America. That's where it came from. What are we saying here? But the wrong people were arrested. This happened in Pennsylvania and Texas and probably in other states. Facial recognition and the same name has gotten people arrested. Yeah, well, yeah, but let me tell you right now, do you guys think that you have the same level of privacy that you had before? You absolutely don't. There is facial recognition software everywhere. If you think, I don't care where you think you're living, I don't think if you're in Mississippi, if you're in the UK, if you're in Canada, if you think that they can't recognize your face from space, they can see you. Facial recognition is on your cell phones. Come on, guys. If once something gets to the common user, you think it started with the common user? What was the internet before it got to you? It was a military program used for connectivity. Facial recognition software is old technology. It's everywhere. It's everywhere. Okay? So that stuff, forget about thinking about, oh, we don't need that. You've got it. You try to go to Africa right now. Africa. And when you get your visa, you get off the plane in Africa, and you get to African immigration, you know what they're going to do? Biometrics. Boop, boop, boop. Scan your face, scan your fingerprints. Africa has biometrics. Africa. So if you think that you don't have biometrics in this country, ooh, let me tell you something. They're not going to shock you with it. But your phone's got it. It's everywhere. When you leave the country and you try to go somewhere else, go on your little vacation. Some of you might have gone to Mexico. Some of you might have gone somewhere else. Boop, boop, boop. Biometrics. When you come to America, biometrics. Okay? Some of y'all, or if you're driving across or you don't see it, it's like, oh no, we're waiting. No, some of you, that immigration officer says, would you stand here, look into the camera, don't blink, don't smile. Biometrics. Your face is in the system. Period. All of you, every one of us. So don't get excited. Okay. You can't own a gun and they don't know who you are. They're going to know who you are. There are two things that are 100% sure of the United States of America. They're going to know where your money is. The IRS will know where your money is, 100%. And they absolutely know where you are. You have a debit card? You carry a cell phone? You drive a vehicle? They know where you are. Okay? Period. So please, and the UK's, P. McKay, you know this. Yeah, exactly. In the UK, we have face recognition in supermarkets. They're not playing in the UK. It's everywhere. Okay? You've got to walk around with a full balaclava. COVID saved some of you criminals. COVID saved some of y'all. You're walking around, but now, shoot, if they can catch your eyes, they got you. You got to walk with glasses, balaclava, hood on. Shoot, trust me. They can take the metric of your body and your movement. Say that 75% chance that's him based on his movement and his body. Come on. So don't get all twisted and excited about this thing. A gun is old technology. A projectile weapon is old technology. They're doing stuff now where they can create a tornado and come down and pick up one house and leave. You don't think they have stuff much better than a gun, much better than a nuclear weapons? Nuclear power is for warming cities now. It's the new electricity. That's not what they're using now. Why are you so worried about a gun? Why are you so worried about a rifle? Right? Shouldn't be worried about it. Don't let the propaganda. Mass shootings. Oh, there's mass shootings everywhere. It's because everybody has a gun. No, there's mass shootings everywhere because the bad guys only have a gun. That's why there's mass shootings. Because only the bad guys have a gun. These guys walked into a school and every single teacher was armed to the teeth. They'd run out of there for their lives. They walked to a school and the school was properly protected. They wouldn't get within 100 yards. That car would get hit with a heat seeker from the rooftop before they even get near it. That's what I'm saying. If you're giving these guys weapons that are so powerful to walk around with, then your armed police forces better be stacked. Period. That's all you got to do. Oh yeah, yeah, we're giving you that, bro, but we got this one. Okay, we're giving you the same one we got, but you're giving you one. We've got 20 pointed at you. So it doesn't matter. You, as a community, need to revisit the conversation of legal gun ownership. I'll say it again, of legal gun ownership, and then be trained properly to have the gun. Don't allow guns to sit around in homes where children can get access to them and fool around. No, you have your gun locked up. You have your home secured. Listen, I'm going further than that. I don't think anyone these days should even drive a vehicle that doesn't have bulletproof windows. And I'm not talking even for the criminal. Me personally, if I could create a vehicle for myself, bulletproof windows, bulletproof glass, front, back, center, I'd have an intercom. When the police officer pulls me over, how can I help you, sir? He's hearing me clearly. Can you wind your window down? No, sir, this window doesn't wind down. I can pass you my documents though. Here you go. Documents pass. He's safe and I'm safe. Sir, this is a bulletproof glass. You're safe. Projectile weapons will not penetrate this glass. Here's my documentation. I need you to get out of the car. Sir, I don't feel comfortable getting out of the car. Please have a supervisor arrive in the scene. I'm not getting out of the car. Shoot, shoot, shoot. Doors are sealed. Call my lawyer. Call the supervisor. Turn on cameras that face out. Right? Press the button, and NAGA representatives all show up at that police call. I'm telling you, this is where scenarios are going, because you guys are getting, I hope you're getting tired of watching on police videotapes with black people being gunned down in the street. I hope you're tired of that. So you need to change the way that everything operates. Everything. And I'll say this too. That if you're a legal gun owner, I'll give you two scenarios. You don't have to tell nobody. Philando Castile, we saw how that went for him. I just want to let you know, officer, that I'm a legal gun owner. Bam, 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 bam. Well, that didn't work out. That information wasn't helpful. I told him not to move. He was sitting right there, right next to you, because he confessed to you that he's a legal gun holder. He got killed. Well, I say that you don't have to reveal all that information, right? Or if you do, or if you know that you're dealing with a different kind of police service, and you get pulled over, officers, there is no weapon in this vehicle. There's a weapon in the trunk. Would you like me to open the trunk? There is no weapons in this vehicle. There is no weapons in this vehicle. But at the end of the day, you need to change your mentality behind gun ownership, behind self-protection. I truly believe, and I am very serious, I believe every African American should have bulletproof windows on their car, an intercom system, and a way to pass your documents that doesn't allow you to open a door. You don't have to get out of the car 99% of the time, unless you're under arrest, right? So yeah, that's my opinion. We have, UK, you guys don't have, we have rifles in the UK. The police come and checks out our gun safe is legal. We cannot have handguns. Yeah. The police check is through the roof. I know you guys are very restrictive there in the UK, and the same in Canada. Cars need to be made of bulletproof materials. I don't not really like, yeah, cars, the cars scenario. Yeah. You want to build a car that has some level of bulletproofing, not making the car too heavy, but definitely the windows, the windshield, and the back window, right? Because these officers are not shooting through the door, right? They're shooting through the window most of the time when these brothers are shot in the car. And as a former law enforcement, the safest place for you to be is in that car, and the safest place for that officer to be is you in that car. And if those windows are bulletproof, he has some level of knowledge that when he walks up to that window, he'd be like, you try to shoot him through a window, you got bulletproof window, perfect. Should be right there on the car. This vehicle is equipped with bulletproof windows. So officer knows right away. Oh, this car has bulletproof windows. That's good. When I walk up there, he can't shoot me. And I can't shoot him. Perfect. Should be right there. This vehicle is equipped. It should be standard, like a seatbelt, in a vehicle. Be weird to see it. Be weird not to see it. This vehicle is equipped with bulletproof windows. I think the manufacturers, literally, you guys are making electric cars and all these. You should need to make vehicles that are bulletproof. This is a bulletproof vehicle. This is a bulletproof electric vehicle. The windows are bulletproof up to a, you can rate them. So small arms, higher arms, whatever you want. But that should be a thing, period. That should be a thing. Manufacturers, if you want an idea to increase car sales in North America and the world, start producing a line of vehicles or an option in every vehicle that produces bulletproof glass, bulletproofing of the vehicle. I'm telling you, it's a business idea. And black folks in America, start thinking about, if not owning guns, opening gun shops. Listen, there's a vacuum. There's a vacuum of gun shops in black communities. There's a vacuum. And if you cannot trust your brother with a gun, how are you going to trust a stranger with a gun? Because a lot of you sitting there, oh no, I don't want no gun shops in my community. I don't want any. We got enough gun violence in our community already. Who is dealing with the gun violence, right? You have laws who can control a gun. So the guns that the bad guys can buy that are legal, they're not buying more. Can I say that again? If you have criminals who own guns, they can't buy legal guns, right? So what you're saying then is that the people who are capable of owning a legal gun, they won't have them accessible to them, but the bad guys will. You want a home invasion, and the bad guys have a gun and you don't? Come on. Look at all these areas that we live in right now, in certain these cities. I'm turning here, look at these windows, right? How easy is it for somebody to come through that window? Easily. All these windows should be rated bulletproof. You should have to use a bazooka to blow through this window. Same with the doors. We have to be in a more heightened security mentality, right? If you are in a heightened security mentality, no one can kick in your door. Home invasions, all these things that we're worried about, the mass shooting concepts. If security is something that is lacking, then beef up your security. And part of beefing up your security is having a legal gun in your home. Having the capacity to say, as a community, we are legal registered gun owners. Wouldn't it be better to know, hey, my neighbor over there, he's part of NAGA. I've seen him at the meetings, met his wife, good people. In fact, everybody on my block's a part of NAGA. Whoa, really? Yeah. We're an association, we're a family, we're a group. We know, we protect each other. We watch out for each other. This is what these things produce. These are what these things create. Okay? We're not creating a bunch of mavericks running around like it's the wild, wild west, riding on horses, shooting guns in the air. That's not the purpose of these things. The purpose of these things is to make the community at large safer, simply according to what the National African American Gun Association puts as its mission. It's on its About Us page. Please take a look at them. They are naga.co, NAAGA.co. Go take a look at their chapters. They have a section on gun safety, membership. They offer a very affordable membership. Let me see what their membership is before I get off of this. Affordable for everybody isn't the same. Okay, so single membership is $39 a year. Okay, couple membership, $59 a year, and a family membership for $89 a year. Come on. Come on. Come on. You've got no excuse. You've got no excuse, right? The single membership offers the membership level covers one person and is ideal for individual. Full access to the MAGA membership portal. All members receive a digital card for iPhone or Android. Discounts on products. Eligible for member-only raffles. Receive personal defense world issues. Personal defense world by some individual. And they get some kind of thing of the latest equipment. And it goes on from there. So they have a very affordable breakdown of how to become a member. And things like this, to give full transparency, the second you join this, you're going to be on the FBI's list. I'll tell you right now. The second that you join this, you're going to show up in an FBI database somewhere. But if you think you're not already there, you're there. Okay? But the truth of the matter is, you will definitely be putting yourself under a national scrutiny by some watchdog organization. It's for sure. And I'm sure the NRA has got the same thing going. But at the end of the day, let them watch. Doesn't matter. Does not matter. You guys should be members of this organization. Period. Yep. Who cares? And this is what the video that I put on my community page. The founder said, "We don't care what they think. We could care less what they think. Doesn't matter what they think, right? I rather my enemy be thinking about me, be like, you know what? Let me just leave this dude alone, bro. This guy, it's not worth my time. I'd rather you think like that than not think at all. Let me just run up on Dell and bam, 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 bam. No, I want you to have a cautious reverence for what might happen. Okay? I want you to have a cautious reverence for the ramifications of running up in here. And every criminal should have the same behavior. Oh, bro, I'm not even going in that community. Why? All these dudes, all these guys own guns. All of them. Let's break into their house and get guns. Bro, you break into their house, the neighbor's going to shoot you. And we can't break into their houses. These guys have reinforced windows. They've got cameras. We're going to get caught. I'm not even going to bother with these people. And there are people. Leave it alone. They're in another neighborhood. Right? Deterrent. What's she saying? I've always been watched. Another level of boredom for that. Pumpkin, that's true. We are the first people to come to if a rifle is used. Yep. Hey, Satro, good to see you. Salute to you, my brother. Yep, salute to you, my brother. Listen, so I don't want to beat this horse to death, but I definitely want to beat it till you ride it. Okay? Where my Naggas at? That's what I wanted to say that. Where my Naggas at? The National African American Gun Association. I was so happy when I learned about them because really what I was going to say is you know what? We're going to have to come out here and join the NRA. No matter what, we're going to have to join the NRA. Now, this is the part that I want to move to in respect to this conversation, too. Now, NAGA, and this is the part I don't agree with them because I think that it's what we always do. And they asked a question. Please check it out on my community page. Are you guys going to support policies or are you going to support candidates? And everyone put up their hand and said, we are going to support almost everyone put up their hand and said, we're going to support policies. And then when they were asked, are you going to support candidates? Not a single solitary Black person put their hand up. Right? They wouldn't even let me type that website. I said it's not there. It's there. Go on, just Google the National African American Gun Association, and then you'll see it, and then you can click on it. All right? It's naga.co. Yeah, naga.co. So it was interesting to me that they were interested in putting policies together, but not interested in picking candidates. Ladies and gentlemen, please stop saying, where my Naggas at? Please stop saying that it doesn't matter who the candidate is. It absolutely matters. We have to be so involved in the process of those individuals making policy that it's not enough to say, well, if you have my pet policy on your list, I'll vote for you. No, because that person could have one policy that you like and have 10 other ones that are detrimental. You need to handpick, you need to groom your candidates that are going to the table to represent you. These people need to be groomed in your community, right? So it would make sense that NAGA members have individuals within the NAGA association that they say, hey, you would be a perfect individual that we would like to help, to support, to go to Congress, to be a mayor, to be a lawmaker. NAGA NAGA chapters should say highlighted individuals. This is a person that we would like to highlight as being a spokesperson for our chapter. And those chapter spokespersons should be nationally scrutinized and groomed for saying, is this a person that we would like to push for political office? Let me tell you something. Political office, you're gonna be scrutinized. And in my opinion, these days, the younger the better. If we're getting guys in their late 20s who haven't done any big mistakes in their lives yet, things that people can tear them down about, haven't started families yet, ladies in the same capacity, those are great people who are formative in their youthfulness and strength and their zeal. Push those people into office, man. I'm gone are the days where we should have old men running countries. Gone are those days, right? Look, old men running countries. That's a problem, because old men running countries, they have some secrets they got to keep. They've had some backdoor deals that they've made to get there. They have old men mentalities and things that have to be unwound, old ideas, young men, young women need to run countries. We need Jesuses. We need Joshuas to run countries. We need Davids to run countries. That's what we need. Young men, young women running nations, running communities. Old people can sit back and say, young fella, let me tell you something. Did you know that back in the day, this used to be, oh, really? Yes, so watch out for that. Giving them some advice and then letting them run. That's what we should be doing. I don't want to see old men. I don't see a lot of old men and old women running for politics, because what they've done is they've done all their dirt and their crime and their things and they've lived their life, and now they want two things left. There's only two things left for them: a legacy and power, because they made their money, right? A young man, he's still got a lot of his ideals. He's still utopian in his thinking. He's still optimistic. Same with the young women. So I want to see that. I want to see them rising up, people from within their ranks, and saying, this is a young guy here that I would like to push in this direction. He's bright. He's got a great future. He's articulate, and you can form his thoughts. Israel's a place like that too. Israel, young people run Israel. You go everywhere. You run around everywhere. When it comes to, I'm not talking about in necessarily in the government, on the upper levels of government, but when you see how the country functions, where you see a lot of the younger people's faces working and doing, it's a country that is, you can see the young people are up front making things happen. Their army, their soldiers, everything. They're youthful. Okay, so that's me, and this is NAGA. So again, I would love you guys to support the channel rather. I keep forgetting what to call this thing. It's a channel. I would also like to bring in other shows. Individuals who would like to do a show, you can contact me. If you have an idea for a show on this channel, I'm up for that right now. I'm looking to see new content creators who are interested in having shows on the channel. We can come on and have conversations about how that would work. Okay, I'd like to bring on as many shows as possible. I love this channel to be 24 hours. Every time you come in here, there's a different show. Yes, The Real Spiel is one show. The Shiloh Institute is one show, and any other shows that fit the vibe of this particular channel. Let's have a conversation about it. Would love to be able to do that with you. Okay. We can have we want the show to be nicely produced. Even I don't do the greatest job of making my show producer savvy, but we want to make sure that we're bringing in quality content and things that are for our community. So if that's what you can do, if you're in the UK, if you're in another place in the world, and you're saying, hey, I would love to come on and do this. I don't have to be on the show. It could be your show. It's just on this channel. We'd love to have you do that. All right. So this is the real spiel. This is Del K. Brereton. Okay. In association with the Shiloh Institute, and all of you who are looking to better the Black community, help this page, bless the page, take care of us as best as you can. I'm under the American sun, on the American sky. If you would like me to come for speaking engagements or any engagements, you can message me, use the beacons, or you can come to me at delkbrereton@gmail.com. Amal, yes, of course. I would love to, engage other people to come on the channel, man. It's called the channel for a reason. I don't have to be the only voice, right? We just have to say the same types of things. So thank you very much, Satcho. I'm going to try my best until God returns the breath of life he gave me, but he ain't taking it back anytime soon. Okay. God bless all you. Thank you, Carla. You guys have an amazing day. I'll come back in the evening. I'm going to talk a little Bible in the evening. All right. I'll talk to you guys soon. Have an amazing day. It's Del K. Brereton. This is The Real Spiel.